Hello, friends. My name is Steve, and welcome to Page Chewing Comics and Manga Weekly Pulls, episode number 13. So this is kind of a strange week, and I debated whether or not I should record an episode at all, because I didn't find very many books at all this week. I looked and looked, and there was just nothing that I wouldn't have to read a bunch of other books to catch up with. For those of you who are new to the show, I am getting back into comics after a long hiatus and trying to find things I'll enjoy reading. I've always been a fan of creator-owned, so that's kind of where I tend to gravitate towards. But I've been trying to find books that appeal to me, and I'm getting back into a new series or a new arc, a new creative team, somewhere that's easy for me to jump into and not be lost with decades or centuries of continuity. So this week, I only had 2 books, but I'll get to that more in a second. So this week, I did read Tenement number 4. This is by Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, and Dave Stewart. This is published by Image Comics. I really enjoyed the first episode, and the first issue, rather. And I think what I really liked about the first issue is that we visited a few different characters, and we started to kind of establish different characters, and I was starting to become invested. I felt like I had enough in each character to kind of not be attached to them, but start to learn about them, kind of touch on each of them, how they're all connected. And with each issue from there, I kind of feel like I'm losing interest. I just feel like we started off really strange, getting to know characters, setting up the world and this threat, which I won't get into. I won't spoil it for you. But it seems like now we're getting into kind of what you would expect to happen. You can almost predict what's going to happen. You can predict what people are going to say. There's not a lot of surprises. There's sometimes shocking things happen, and there's very little reaction from the characters. And these are just normal people that are thrust into this extraordinary situation. And it just seems odd that some of them just don't react, or just seem like they're oblivious to what's going on. And there's like these archetypes of characters, and they're this character no matter what happens. Like they don't deviate from what their normal line would be. That's something that really bothers me, because when I can predict something that's going to happen, I lose interest, and I'm starting to lose interest in this series. I still really like the artwork. I like the use of color. And I'm currently reading Gideon Falls by the same creative team. And I'm noticing similarities in a good way with the artwork, the layouts, the panels. I love all that stuff. It's really creative. I love what they do with it. I think it's really neat. But the story and the dialogue is what's turning me off. I'm not a huge fan of where it's going. I think I'm losing interest with every single issue, which is not a good sign. So now I will say that I have faith in this creative team. I think this is a really stellar creative team. I like Jeff Lemire. I like the artwork. I like everything. This team, I have faith that maybe they'll pull me out of it. I hope they will. I really hope they will. I'm rooting for this book to grab me. But so far, I'm not thrilled. I was really excited for issue 2, and I'm less excited each issue that is released. And I have faith, but I'm not excited. So sadly, I'm not thrilled about where the series is going, but like I said, I'm holding out hope that this creative team will do something with this that will be exciting. The second book that I read is The Penguin number 2. This is by Tom King and Raphael de la Troy. I'm butchering that name. This is by DC Comics. Now, the first issue of The Penguin had a really gritty street level feel to it, and I like that they're playing with some ideas here about age, about being underestimated the older we get. Like, people don't take you as seriously, but they should, because like the Penguin is experienced, and people kind of think he's washed up, and he's kind of not. He's kind of like, well, he's past his prime. He's still capable of doing things, And in this issue, he's trying to build some support, and he goes looking for help, and he won't take no for an answer, basically. This one, this one didn't have the grittiness of issue 1. It didn't have the street level, gritty, realistic feel to it that I was looking for, that I was hoping it would go to, more of a street level thing. It went another direction, and it just didn't grab me. I like some of the ideas we're playing with. I like some of the themes we're playing with, but I just wasn't thrilled with it. And it did give me some background on the character, who I haven't been keeping up with the Penguin or anything else. So it did kind of fill in some gaps of things that I was missing, and that was fine. That was nice for me to figure out, but overall, it just fell flat. I just wasn't pulled in by it. It didn't do much for me. There's a I don't know if it was intentional, but there's a scene in this book that reminded me of Dick Cheney, the former vice president. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. There's some Dick Cheney shit going on, but that's all I'm going to say about that. I thought it was kind of funny. Don't know if it's intentional or not, but it was humorous. That was the best part of the issue, and when that's the best part of the issue, a Dick Cheney reference, you're in trouble. So unfortunately, I'll keep my eyes out on this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. Maybe it'll take another direction. It's only been 2 issues. I try to remember that. Sometimes these series take some time to develop. So I'm hoping we get back to the street level, more of the gangster style thing, and more, down, kind of the low, down and getting gritty and dirty. So we'll see. Now, I couldn't find many other books. There's a series called Brynmore. It's by Steve Niles and art by Damian Worm. This is published by IDW. I saw issue 3 of the series, and I thought, well, I haven't found any other books this week that really grabbed my attention, so I'll try to read issue 1 and 2, and then I'll read 3, and maybe it'll be a series I can catch up with. I've did this before with a couple other series that I felt like I can catch up with it, and I can maybe get into it. And the artwork just didn't do it for me. It was a little too on the cartoonish side for me. It didn't have, especially for a horror book, for a dark book, just didn't excite me at all. Not that it's bad, just not the kind of artwork that I enjoy reading. So, unfortunately, I got through the 3 issues, and I will not be continuing. Again, it just seemed very, very much what you would expect. Once you get to the first couple of pages, once you get the setup, you pretty much know where it's going, and you know where the characters are. You can pretty much guess what's going to happen. And it just didn't pull me in. I wasn't interested. It just didn't interest me at all. So unfortunately, after 3 issues of Brynmore, I am out. I am tapping out of Brynmore. So not for me. It's not bad, just not for me. So I can say that, I think some people would enjoy it, but it's just not a book that I would enjoy, or that I did enjoy. So I will be dropping off of Brynmore. And I really do love the covers. The covers are great, but the impression I had from the covers wasn't at all the story I was getting. And that's unfortunate, but I get it. You have to sell books. You need good covers, and they got me. So, that is what it is. And that's it. This week, I didn't have very many other things. I am reading Gideon Falls. I'm reading Berserk, looking into starting some other series here soon. And, just as far as the single issues go, I'm finding it difficult to find things I get into some weeks. Some weeks I have a ton. And some weeks I'm having to cut down on a few books because there's too many. And other weeks I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I'm just not finding anything that really interests me. So unfortunately this week there is no pick of the week, because I try to every week I try to find something that I really like, or that I like. There's a couple of weeks there that I wasn't crazy about my pick of the week, but it was the best of the bunch. But there's only a few books this week, and I couldn't name anything. I couldn't be enthusiastic to recommend anything when nothing really excited me. So I am debating whether or not I should start reading another series on my own and just coming here and talking about it. There's a few that I'm really interested in that I want to read, that I have some friends that read along with me, but I hate to bother them all the time. So much I want to read. There's so many books here just waiting for me, so I think I will read a couple of them and then just come and talk about them. If there is a trade or a series that's ongoing that you would like to talk about with me, please reach out to me, let me know, and we will set something up. I'm thankful for anyone who wants to read with me, and just to come and chat about it on the podcast. It's a lot of fun. And if not, then I will read a couple and I'll come and report back on what I thought, and kind of maybe even if you want to read along and you don't want to come on the podcast, you just want to listen and kind of feel like you have a reading buddy, I'm cool with that too. Give me some suggestions. I have some here. I have a thread going on the forums with some books that I have, and I'm pretty excited because this week I was at my local Barnes & Noble looking for some other books and for the other podcast, and I found The Killer. It's the omnibus of The Killer. I believe it's translated from French, and I can look up the author and the artist, but it's a book that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed reading, and I used to read it a lot because I used to do a lot of business travel, and I really enjoyed it. But I really enjoyed The Killer, and I could never find the last couple of trades. I always looked for them. I couldn't find them. They were never in stock on Amazon. I couldn't find them in local stores. So I was a little frustrated, but I was just kind of browsing, and I was browsing through the comic book section, which is really, really small compared to the manga section. It was huge. There's shelves and shelves of manga, which that's a whole nother issue. But the book is the complete The Killer second edition. It is a huge book, but it's almost 800 pages worth of comics, and I love the series. It is an elite assassin suffers a psychological crisis as he attempts to remove himself from the political ramifications of the killings he have caused. And I really love this book. I'm looking forward to finishing it, so maybe that'll be one that I read and talk about on the podcast. So, yeah, good stuff. I'm excited about that. Some other books that I'm excited to read, but like I said, I think I might start mixing those in just to kind of mix things up and have more content for the podcast. But so we'll see how that goes. But have some other, I think we're planning on starting the Sandman here soon. So if you're interested in that, get on the forums at pagechewing.com and say hello to us. We're a friendly bunch and we love to read and just have a good time chatting. So come by and say hello, and we'd love to have you. And any suggestions I'm open to. So thank you for listening. Sorry, it's been kind of a strange week. I just didn't have a whole lot to talk about. And I just kind of a bummer of a week, but those things happen. Hope you're having a great week. If you are reading something you're enjoying, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know on the forum. I will sit down in the comments. Let me know in the forum, and let me know what you're reading. Maybe you can recommend something to me that I'll really enjoy. So I'd love to hear from you. So hope you're having a great week, and until next time, I'll talk to you soon.